Seriously, this is ridiculous. Just let me out of here.
Don't get worked up. I'm only here to tell fellow adventurers who stop by that we have timestamps in the description down below, and that they should feel free to use them to get to where they want to go if they're just looking for info.
It's absolutely useless talking to you. Seriously, it's been 3 days. At least let me change my armor. Jessica was here? Where have I seen this name before? Wait a minute. I know. She was the one with that horrible Rothgar quest. No doubt she ended up in here, making people go to that frigid wasteland. I guess we're more than light than I thought. We'd like to torture people.
Okay, Brynja. I can handle it from here. You can go ahead and leave. Thank you, sir. Ooh, I wonder if Plot Armor's Emporium is still open.
Ren, you're finally here. You're going to let me out now, right?
Well, Rose, about that. I'm here with a bit of good news and a little bit of bad news.
Of course, it is the Mystic Forge we're talking about here. I'm not surprised. Just tell me what I need to do to get out of this stupid cage.
Well, you'll be ecstatic to hear that the Guild Council will let you work your way out of probation by completing what they call a simple task.
Enough of the sarcasm, Ren. We both know there's no such thing as a simple task in this guild. Just get on with it.
What they want you to do is go on 3 more jobs with me.
Seriously? You call this good news? And what in nerd is the bad news?
The bad news is you have to keep him from all harm. That includes friendly fire.
Hey, I wasn't going to kill him. Yet. But fine, you make a good point. I'll go grab my gear.
Don't worry about finding anything special, Rose. I got something for you right in your room.
Fine.
While Rose is getting ready, let me tell you about the mythic we'll be getting, which is the Tonal Torc of Constancy. It's an older mythic that came out when Antiquities was introduced way back when Greymoor dropped. So just keep in mind that when you do find your lead, you'll be digging it up in the zone in which you find it.
Bad.
Well, it looks like you're ready, Rose. How do you like it?
Absolutely horrible. Let's just go ahead and move on to our first lead.
Well, that would be right over here in Davin's Watch, which is located in the zone of Stone Falls, which is right over here on the map. This little city is where we're going to find the public dungeon called Crow's Wood, which is right over here. This is where we're going to acquire the lead for the Torc of Tonal Focus.
Robert, I don't see an entrance here, just a dead end.
Don't worry, Rose. The entrance is right there in that chest.
You have to be kidding me. Nothing ever good comes out of treasure that's just sitting there. The last time I traced treasure that was out in the open, I found it in a hole.
There's no Daedric shenanigans here. Watch this.
Who'd be stupid enough to go through a portal in chess? Robert, don't you dare go through that. I hear voices. Why do I even try?
Son, that hag had no business keeping me here.
Chilling. Why would you poke around with this witch you mentioned?
Sweetie, please. I don't want to be alone. Why would you spurn me? Stop fighting and return to keep me company.
Now,
Robert, don't you dare get involved. I see you staring. I only have time to clear up one person's mess. Now where's the lead?
Right. Just like most public dungeons, this lead drops from a boss. In fact, it drops from any of the bosses found in here. And with up to 5 bosses to choose from in this small area, makes grinding this one just a little bit easier than most places.
That was actually pretty simple. Now that we're done finding that lead, where are we going to next?
Our next lead's going to be right over here in Deshawn. And this is the zone that we're going to find the Torc Strand of Power. And getting this lead is also relatively simple, as all you need to do is go around beating any of the world bosses within the zone. When I went for this lead, I stuck to the right side of the map, as there are 4 different bosses to go in between. By the time I beat one, mounted up, and went to the next one, and then came back around, it'd be ready for me to hit again. Once you've brutally beat down enough bosses to get your lead, you'll be ready to move on to the next zone, which is right over here in Anka-ra. We're going to find this lead inside of a dungeon called Blackheart Haven, and you're going to find the entrance to this dungeon right over here on the map. This is the area we're going to pillage and plunder for a lead called the Torc Strand of Song.
I see water, boats. I even see Shady Siren. Something seems to be missing. Blackheart Haven.
What do you mean, Rose? I know I read the map right. Let me take a look at this. Oh, not
Seriously,
again.
Robert, is the map upside down again?
What kind of a sailor are you? I know where Blackheart Haven is. Be damn tough to get in there, I suspect, but I think I could probably do it.
At least someone knows where we're going. How much?
Rose,
If you're
I'm low
going,
on
promise
coin.
me you're going to rob them blind or put a dagger in them.
Well, that's the best payment I've ever had to make. Deal. I'll do both.
Good. Go ahead and use the boat behind me. I'll get you there.
To get the lead in this dungeon, you're going to need to go ahead and push your way through all the privateers. Your goal is to make it all the way to the end so you can face the man himself, Captain Blackheart. Oh, and do make sure you bring a tank and a healer with you, because if you go here by yourself, you'll literally be boned. After you've shivered his timbers and picked through his plunder, you'll be ready to head on over to your next destination, which is, hey, where'd you come from, little guy? Aren't you cute? Are you gonna get me? You gonna get me? You gonna? Ah, God, Rose!
Seriously,
Rose, he's got
Robert,
me!
just crap.
He's got me! Get him off! Get him off!
Don't
Get him
Shady
off!
Siren. There's something good here.
Oh man, He could have took my finger off. Let's go on to our next destination, which will be right over here in the Anka-ra Desert. This is where we're going to find the Torc Strand of Lore. You can get this lead from defeating any of the bosses found here in the Anka-ra. There are 6 of them to choose from, but I like to go to the ones that are closer to way shrines, as it tends to be a bit easier to move about between each one. Here, let me share this map with you so you can see where they're at. Once you've beat down and buried your baddie of choice, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next destination, which is right over here in a zone built for more sturdy adventurers, Craglorn. This is where we're going to uncover the lead for the Torc Throat Guards. You can get this lead from clearing any of the Anka-ra burial sites. There are roughly about 5 of these things in Lower Craglorn over here on the left side of the map. Now, your map will tell you that these burial sites are bosses, and that's far from the truth on these. To clear out these burial sites, you have to keep that person alive.
Seriously, Robert? I can barely keep you alive. What makes you think I can keep him alive? I'm an assassin, not a healer.
Don't worry about a thing, Rose. These are like little group events. Anybody that passes by can jump in and help you. But if you don't want to wait for some rando commandos to help you out with this, you could always bring in your own battle buddy.
Seriously, Robert, we've been over this before. I'm not your buddy.
For those instances that you don't have a battle buddy, you could actually do these solo. Let me share with you a little technique I use when I have to run these by myself. This little event happens in this little bubble of an area right here. You're going to have enemies spawning from 3 different areas. Right over here on the left, all the way over there on the right, and in the back in the middle. The area in which they spawn is a little bit random, and when they do spawn, they're going to go straight for that guy in the middle to take him out. All you need to do is go ahead and grab their attention, and thankfully you don't need to be a tank to do that. It's just as simple as hitting any of the enemies that pop up. Once you do that, their attention will be drawn directly to you. When you see that lightning start to drop, just go ahead and throw one of your AoEs on them, and it'll grab their attention right off the bat. You'll have to do this for 2 cycles, as in between each cycle a pair of gargoyles will pop off their platforms. When you complete those 2 waves, you're going to see that the boss is going to spawn right behind the person you have to protect. Again, throw your AoE down and just hit that area as hard as you can. With a high enough DPS, you can clear this in no time. Then it's just as simple as collecting that chest and praying to the Daedric Prince of RNG that you get that lead. And if you're interested in seeing this in real time, check out the video link we left for you above. It leads to our uninterrupted solo run of an Anka-ra site. And don't get discouraged if it don't drop right off the bat. It took me about 2 weeks to get this lead. After you've picked that one up, you should have all your leads. Now remember, these leads have to be dug up in the zones in which you have found them. But once you've done that, you'll have a brand new mythic to play with. This mythic is actually pretty handy, as there's really no negatives to it. Well, unless you consider being under 50% for your resources a negative, then yes, there is a negative. This mythic states that while your stamina is less than 50%, you get to increase your magic of recovery by 450. Likewise, if your magic is under 50%, you get to increase your stamina recovery by 450. And if you paid attention to the wording on that, you'll have taken notice that both those effects can actually happen at the same time. Alright, that's enough out of me. Now get out there and show them what a balanced warrior looks like. And that wraps up another guide. We want to thank you guys for hanging out to the end. It really helps us out more than you know. Also, if there's anything else you'd like to see covered in our particular style, feel free to drop it down in the comments down below.
A real
there you are, Rose.
I
you want to add anything?
Seriously, Robert, I'm so tired. Just like and subscribe and comment and all that. You know what to do. And if you're bored, there's a playlist right over there. I'm going to bed.
Well, I guess that's it. I hope to see you in the next one.